Welcome to Strange but True. Take a breath, slow down, and listen carefully. Some stories are documented, some are debated, some refuse to be explained. We tell you the stories. You decide what's true. Now, let's begin. In 1952, archaeologists searching a remote cave near the Dead Sea uncovered an object unlike the other scrolls found in the region. It was not fragile. It was not made of parchment. It was not written with ink. It was made of copper. The object would become known as the Copper Scroll. It was discovered inside Cave 3 at Qumran, part of a network of caves carved into limestone cliffs overlooking the Dead Sea. These caves had preserved ancient writings for nearly 2,000 years. The region's extreme dryness had allowed fragile materials to survive far longer than expected. Most of the scrolls discovered there contained religious texts. They preserved laws, prayers, rules, records intended to guide communities. They were written carefully, using materials chosen for readability. But this scroll was different. Copper was not chosen for convenience. Copper was chosen for permanence. It was heavier, harder, more difficult to shape. Its surface had to be engraved. This was not casual writing. It was deliberate. Over centuries, the scroll had corroded. Its surface had oxidized. Its layers had fused together completely. It could not be unrolled. It could not be opened. For several years, its contents remained sealed inside the metal itself. Then, in 1955, specialists used precision tools to carefully cut the scroll into narrow strips. Each section was separated under controlled conditions, allowing the engraved text to be revealed without being lost. What appeared was not religious instruction. It was not narrative. It was not commentary. It was a list, a structured record of locations, and beside each location, a description of something that had been hidden: gold, silver, sacred vessels, measured quantities of valuable material. The writing had been engraved directly into the copper. This required effort beyond ordinary documentation. It required intention. It required planning. It required the expectation that the record would need to survive. The language used was an early form of Hebrew. Its tone was practical, precise, instructional. It did not explain why the items had been hidden. It did not explain when they had been hidden. It only recorded where they had been placed. The scroll contained 64 separate entries. Each entry described a location using physical landmarks: walls, passageways, water channels, structures. Depth measurements were included, distances were specified. Some entries described deposits buried beneath stairways. Others described materials concealed near reservoirs or underground channels. Some referred to objects placed beneath foundations or within ruins. Each entry followed the same pattern: location, description, quantity, nothing more. There was no introduction, no explanation, only instruction. Estimates based on the listed quantities suggested enormous wealth. The total amount of gold and silver recorded would have represented a vast accumulation of material. But the scroll did not confirm whether these materials remained where they had been placed. It did not confirm whether they had been recovered. It only preserved the record itself, and it did not include any indication that the list had ever been completed. No markings, no confirmations, no revisions. Only the original engraved entries remained. The region had experienced instability. Cities had fallen. Structures had been abandoned. Valuable objects may have been intentionally concealed, hidden with the expectation of future recovery, stored with the assumption the record would remain. or lost as events unfolded. The copper scroll remains unique among all ancient discoveries. No other scroll from this period was engraved on copper. No other document in the same collection served this function. It does not resemble scripture. It does not resemble literature. It resembles documentation, a record created with permanence in mind, a record created to survive uncertainty. Its surface remains preserved. Its engraved words remain visible. Its instructions remain readable. But whether every location was ever found was never recorded beside the list itself. Some stories were written on parchment, some were written on stone, and some were engraved in metal, so they would not be forgotten. The copper scroll still exists. Its words remain preserved. Its locations remain recorded. But whether its instructions were ever completed is not fully known. What was hidden, what was recovered, and what may still remain continues to exist in the historical record. History has a way of hiding the truth inside what it chooses not to explain. Inside tales, inside myths, inside legends, inside things that feel just a little off. If this story held your attention, subscribe to Strange But True, because sometimes what sounds unbelievable is exactly where the truth hides.